Hello Buffs, you are back once again with Legions of Caesar, and today is my fourth online battle as a Total War online noob. And as you saw in the last two episodes, I am a noob, and very much so. It wasn't a great performance in the last couple of battles, to be fair. Not only did I lose, I also got spanked. So, I've had time, been thinking about it, trying to work out where I've been going wrong. So I reckon, one, I haven't been micromanaging very well in my last couple of battles. Been thinking about kind of big grand plans on how to overwhelm the enemy and what I'm going to do, and then not actually micromanaging each individual scenario and each individual unit, just to make sure I get the best matchups. So, number one, matchups. Got to get the best of them. Number two, I have been playing around with different factions. Trying to make these videos a little bit more interesting for you guys, just so I'm not always playing as the same faction. But after getting spanked a couple of times, sod it. I'm going back to the Lizardmen. They're my favourite faction. I got my only victory with Lizardmen, so I'm going to be playing as those guys. This is a quick battle. As I said, I believe quick battles are ranked, so potentially maybe have a more difficult opponent, but I couldn't find a multiplayer battle to go against, so quick battle it was. I'm going to be playing, as I said, as the Lizardmen, and I will be against the Wood Elves. And the Wood Elves are not a faction I know too much about, and in a game like Total War, knowledge is power, so hopefully that won't affect me too much, but let's have a look.
Okay, so let's start off as always by looking at some army comp. So I have 4 units of Saurus Warriors as my front line. As you see me just give orders to move forward. Some Cold One Riders on my right, along with some Saurus Spears. Couple of unit of Croxigors to do some damage. A Skink Priest with Beasts. Krokgar on a Carnosaur. And on my left I have some Cold One Riders and some anti-large Cold One Spears. And if we have a look at my opponent today, we have some Wild Riders on his right. 3 units of Way Watchers, which were hidden to me at this stage of the battle. We have 7 units of Eternal Guard, a Spellsinger of Life, and a Glade Lord. So let's see how this panned out then. So in terms of a plan for me, I wanted to get onto him as quickly as possible, and in true noob style, I did not realise I was charging Krokgar forward on his own to get absolutely pounded. So that was a very big mistake of mine, but I wanted to stop the fire on from his archers straight away. So he starts to bring up this cav. The plan was initially to wheel around this side, but he changed that plan very quickly. And I'm also bringing my cav on my right over as well. So to this, he's bringing some Eternal Guard over, just to try and protect his archers. I really just wanted to get his archers to stop firing, because my old mate Krokgar took an absolute pounding. It's a lot of money, Krokgar, on a Carnosaur, and he's already at half health without me doing anything. So the archers stop firing, which is what I wanted. Obviously I don't want my cav on these Eternal Guard. I see that and just giving the order just to try and get them to turn back. But my army now marching on his. This unit of cav is going to wheel around. 1 unit is going to go around the other flank as well. And this unit looks like they're just going to get absolutely smashed. So I'm giving units or orders for my Saurus Warriors to get stuck in. Saurus Warriors should take on Eternal Guard fairly comfortably, so I'm resting on that. And I still have a Saurus Spears, some couple of units of my Croxigors still, and my magic. So Croxigors now moving forward. As we see the first hand-to-hand action of the battle. Front lines now engaged. Saurus Warriors do look bloody cool. I love those like Aztec maces there. So archers once again firing on Krokgar. That's some hell of a range from their archers. Jesus Christ, I didn't realise that was possible. So 1 cav going around the back. This other cav has managed to flank round as well. Croxigors, wasn't too sure on how to get them stuck in. Obviously I don't want them on these Eternal Guard. Anti-large, they're going to tear up my Croxigors pretty quickly. Krokgar, run away! Run away, Krokgar! He's really focusing fire on Krokgar, which is causing me all sorts of problems. He basically took Krokgar out of the battle. And I think it costs about 2,500, so that's a lot of money for me to lose instantly. So his general's being brought in just to try and help out his Eternal Guard. They've seen better days at this point. Cav routed on this wing, Cav routed on this wing. And I'm going to try and charge my Croxigors through these gaps. The good news is, although the battle's going quite badly elsewhere, front line is certainly now winning. The range on those Way Watchers, how could the range on these bad boys? Causing me all sorts of problems. So, Croxigors getting stuck into the archers now. Really trying to focus fire on them. Get those done. They're annoying me. Saurus Warriors on my left have beaten off some Eternal Guard, and now getting stuck into a second unit. Croc now pinned, so he's definitely going to be gone very soon. Front lines now wavering. So front line has basically been won by me, but everywhere else in the battle is being won by my opponent. So front line's now moving forward, trying to get stuck into these guys. Now with the Lizardmen, I am lacking mobility, particularly as I have wasted my cav. So getting into these archers is a challenge for me. These Wild Riders doing well against my Croxigors too. I'm not sure if they're anti-large, showing my lack of knowledge there, which is probably not helping me out much as far as the battle goes. Definitely sending too much into the centre. I've got 4 units now clumped up here. His general is absolutely fine. Haven't done any damage to him whatsoever. Another unit of Saurus Warriors getting stuck into these Eternal Guard. Who's this? I raised up a Feral Manticore just to go onto their archers, just to try and get them to stop firing. And I lost control. I believe this is my Croxigors. Yeah, I lost control of those guys, so I couldn't get them away from that Eternal Guard, which was very frustrating. These Wild Riders still going. We're losing now in this pocket. My 2 units of Saurus Warriors are just being outnumbered, and I've got a clump of units here which are not doing anything for me either. Cav going over to the archers. Haven't got the mobility to get to these guys left at this point. These Cav are going to get chewed up very quickly, as well as these Croxigors. They're not going to be able to do too much. And at this point, it really is not looking good for me. I was able to use or win the battle at the front line, but I wasn't able to get the advantage from it at that point. And as we can see, we just start to fast forward this a little bit, because now he's just really just running me down. We've got a few units left, but essentially this battle is pretty much done at this point. And there we are, a valiant defeat. So I'll take that, that's not too bad. Let's end this replay and let's have a look at some kills. So my main man Crockgar got absolutely none. He got torn up straight away, and that was 2,500 of completely wasted money from me, so that caused me all sorts of problems. Saurus Warriors all doing very well. They all got the most amount of kills for me. As we saw, they won the front line, so they were the stars of the day for me. But the Cav really not doing much. That was a waste on my part. Croxigors doing okay. Perhaps it wasn't a great battle for them. There's lots of anti-large on their part. But let's have a look at these stars on their side. So Eternal Guard, not doing too much. Glade Lord got 49 kills, which is good going. Eternal Guard with shields, all doing okay as well. But the most amount of kills came from these Wild Riders.
Alright, well that was quite an interesting battle actually. I think there's some... I did lose, of course, I lost. But I believe, see some improvements in what happened, and having looked at it, I think I've seen or can see some improvements I can make that could have potentially won me that battle. And I think I've actually learned quite a lot from it. I'd like to just go through here. So firstly, I picked up my matchups on my front line. So rather than just having my units as a group and just charging them forward and letting them attack in a locks formation, I actually took the time to take my Saurus Warriors and get them against their Eternal Guard. And that was very good for me. So the front line was won on my part. So that was very good. I was happy with that. And then I also saw the opportunity for the Croxigors. It came a little bit later in the battle. So it might not have been able to done me too much good, but I noticed that there was a gap between his Eternal Guards, and those were big enough to squeeze through my Croxigors. to get into his back line. Just because he had Eternal Guard, which is anti-large, it just meant that those Croxigars would not have done very well against our front line, and it was the back line that was causing me problems. So I'm happy that I saw those gaps and I got those guys through. And as far as units like Croxigars go, I could have done a lot of damage, but I could have done a lot more damage if I didn't waste my cav. And my cav were an important part of my game plan, essentially. They were my distraction tool. They were my way to be able to take fire away from my infantry, my Croxigars, the units who are actually going to win me the battle. So I think I did alright by sending them against the archers to start with. It stops the focus fire on my general. We'll get to that, because we know that wasn't great. But then, in terms of the flanking attacks I tried to do, I didn't micro my cav very well, and I sent them on their own. So I think by sending one unit of cav to each wing, it meant it was then too hard to micromanage each one, just because there's a lot more going on in the battle, and I couldn't spend enough time just looking after one unit on either wing, and then my cav got destroyed. And that's really what I needed to get stuck into those archers. So I think I can improve that by sending sending more than one unit of cav at a time on one flank. Really just focusing, it makes microing a lot easier, and that's something I'm not great at. And then secondly, we all saw what the big mistake was. I sent forward Krotgar on his own, and he just got focus fire. Again, it's just another example of me not microing my general and my priest, my magic unit, as I have done in other battles. So lots to work on still, but I think that it's getting better. I hope so, at least. But as always, love to hear your thoughts. What could I have done well, or what did I do well? What could I have improved on? It's always good to get some feedback. Guys, this is Legions of Caesar. I want all social for you to follow, like, subscribe, whatever it is you want to do. You'll find me there. I'll see you again next time.